Hi, I haven't really made one of these actual TikToks or YouTube shorts specifically with video before, so I figured I'd do it now. I just got access to Superman Welcome to Metropolis, as in it came out today and I got it in the mail earlier. I finished reading it. It's very short. It's only about 138 pages, including a cut like 8-page little breakdown of all the characters featured in this story and like their relationships and stuff. So it's about 130 pages of actual plot, and it just follows the introduction of Superman to Metropolis, literally his first week or so in the city. We start with a great introduction to the character of Clark Kent. He's standing in front of the Daily Planet. He's soaked because it was raining. He's letting everybody into the building before him and finally finds an opening to get in. He charms the security officer to let him up to see Perry White, where he basically begs for a job because he has no actual experience outside of working for a small town local newspaper where the biggest thing that happened is maybe a bale of hay fell over out of a truck. I think this story is very good and it's definitely aimed at a younger audience, so don't go reading it expecting a lot of depth or edgy adult stuff. This is meant to introduce kids to a lot of these characters and concepts who are going to be important in the movie, and it helps set up how Lex Luthor knows about kryptonite when most people don't seem to as of yet in this world. My biggest complaint really with the story is some of the characterizations are super two-dimensional. Otis is dumb. That's his character. And it's not necessarily like Drax dumb. Although it reads as if they're going for that, it feels like there's something missing, which makes sense. As far as I know, James Gunn didn't write this or had very little involvement in it, according to like the credits of the book and everything. So it makes sense that they would be trying to emulate how the characters are in the movie, but they're not James. They don't have the experience with characters like Drax, presumably. And it seems a little bit more dumbed down where Otis doesn't have a lot of depth to him as a character. And although he doesn't seem like he's going to show up much in the movie, he's in this book a lot. Lex is never having a moment without Otis nearby. And every time he's adding something a little bit unnecessary until the end where he gets way better. But especially early on, there's one moment where Superman fights Metallo and throws him into the Metropolis like river to like keep him down there for a while. Lex Luthor's looking at a camera of what Metallo's seeing at the bottom of the bay. Otis walks in and sees a fish go across the screen and he says, "What is that? Is that a fish? Are you watching the aquarium? I like the aquarium. I like the jellyfish. They seem happy, except for the fact that they're in cages. That's kind of sucks." And then Lex is like, "No, it's not an aquarium. It's the bottom of the bay." And Otis is like, "Oh man, did they set up cameras down there? It looks kind of dark. They should get some lights." And it's like, oh my god. It's like literally half a page of that one bit. This would be like maybe 2 pages shorter without Otis going on too long for a really unnecessary joke that kind of falls flat in my opinion. But outside of that, early on in the book, again, it gets better as it goes. I think this book might be near perfect for like an introduction to Superman. It does everything it needs to do, introduces all the characters. The book does a great job of making Clois work really well. They're very cute together. They have a bit of a spat in it. We see how Clark is a little embarrassed about like the whole argument and having to apologize in public, and Lois recognizes that and is like, "Hey Clark, look, you did piss me off. You did something that I don't like and I think is bad and it made me upset with you. But you mean well. Just know that this is how it works here in the city for the future." And Clark is receptive. He's like, "Yeah, I get that. My bad." Although she does talk about him fitting in, which kind of makes him a little sad. So he goes home and he visits Martha and Jonathan Kent. And they're very nice to him. They're very much like they can tell that he doesn't really fit in Metropolis, but they motivate him to go back and try again because the world needs him, and he can't just stay in Smallville his entire life. And I really like that. I think that's really cute. I think this movie is gonna be really good. And this book has only done work to make me more excited for it. Also, if anybody has like dealt with books before, is this little like ridge thing normal? Like it came like this. I don't know what that's about. It just feels weird. It adds texture. I guess it helps with like turning the page maybe, but it kind of gets lost like halfway through the book. It kind of smooths out anyways. So, outside of that, this book is really small. My hand is not actually that big, believe it or not. This book is about as big as my head and about as thin as like two of my hat brims here. For like, I'm American, so this is how I measure things. Great book. I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10 as an adult, maybe like an 8 or 9 for a kid. I really do recommend it, and I'm so excited for the movie. It's giving me a lot of hope at a time where I really need it. Okay, I gotta figure out how to stop. Oh,